Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my seed reviews and tours series. Last time we were in Bedrock, and episode 42 gave us this really great building seed from Silverthorn Leatherworks, and I really do like it. Some fantastic places to build. You'll be able to see this in the playlist that is in the description below. Back to Java now for episode 43. So, seed 33, we're going to generate it together as we normally do. The world name is the seed, so I don't get all confused, which is very, very likely. But we do need to make sure that we put the seed in there. Otherwise, you'll end up with something random and you'll just be sad. Let's create the new world and see what we end up in. We've ended up underneath a cow. The cow actually landed on my head. Okay, this is the cow seed. The cow's landed on my head. Right, so where are we? Come on, jump up there, fella. We're going to get ourselves a tower of blocks so we can jump atop of it and see where we are and see it from a very long distance away. We're on top of our stone pillar and we are looking out to the north in this direction out there. That way is east, south and west. We won't comment on what's in those directions, but we've got quite a nice little area to start with at the spawn. You genuinely could definitely do something here. It's open plains. You might want to just fiddle around with a bit of terraforming. They're quite severe, those little two dodars there, but that's okay. We've got a lovely river running through there that takes you off in that direction. I feel a lazy river coming on. That would be really, really nice. You could even join it up across there and make sure you go for that direction as well. All very good. Let's see what we do when we go north. So north is bringing us right across these plains, and they do go on for a little while. Very nice idea to do a bit of building. I can feel maybe a few linked up villages, or maybe a town or two, or maybe even a city across those plains. That will work really, really well. We've got a ravine down there giving us access right to the bottom, and it looks to me like there's a mine shaft on that ravine. We'll probably see that a little bit later. And now we've got the plains yielding into what looks like a desert village here. There are no towers in this village, but what there is at the top here is a fairly high building. So you get on top of the building and it'll be a bit like one of the towers. We've got a desert temple up in the distance there as well. Over the other side of the plains where it finishes off, we've got a savanna, and then another plain starts on the other side of this little bit of desert. Plenty of water around, so if you like watery building, that's quite nice. We're not short of sand here, are we? Let's go a little bit further north. Little bit further north now, and we have come across a fairly decent sized swamp. Nice big bit of wetness in the middle there though. I do love my wet swamps. There, right there, is where you build your little slime farm. That would work quite well, I think. More plains, more savanna, dark oak coming just on the left hand side there as well, which is nice, and another swamp on the other side of the plains, so we're relatively swampy in this direction. This also looks like it's quite wet. In fact, this one looks like it might be even wetter, an even better candidate for our slime farm. And right there you can see we've got a broken portal, so you can come and loot that as well. Let's go further north. So we've come to about 2,500 blocks north, and I just took pause here because we've got this really interesting looking mountain with some really severe straight up and down cliff faces with this bay in here. That strikes me that it's looking for a mountain base, and if you did it right, you could use this plateau out the front of this wall, with this wall being where your entrance is. This plateau could come out, bridge over into this plains area, and then that plains area there could become another like a small town or a village or something like that. Plenty of birchwood, if that's the sort of thing you like to build with, and more mountains over the other side. Another swamp as well. However, I don't think I can see any witch huts in any of the swamps that we've come across so far, which is a bit of a shame. So we can't build ourselves a little witch farm, but no doubt we'll find one fairly soon. We've got more dark oak coming on the left hand side, just to the left of this second mountain range, and another plains on the other side of it. But on the other side of that is where actually we hit payload. Look at this. I'm just checking that swamp. There's not a hut on that one either. Look at this plains here. This one is your fella. Look at that. It's flat. Almost zero terraforming required. You've got the swamp just to the left of you there. A little bit wet. It's not necessarily wet enough to do a slime farm, but you could have a go. The mountain backdrop is fantastic. You've got your birch forest there. A little bit more mountains there. Savanna backdrop there. But this is so flat. Get rid of some of that wetness and you've got the perfect view there to start building your most favoured Minecraft town. Heading out towards the westerly area, masses and masses and masses of sand. Lots of desert there that we can come and explore. We've got a little one of those pointless oasis things. What's the point of them? Literally serves no purpose whatsoever. What we do have is a savanna village. Oh, we'll talk about the pillager town in a minute. We've got a savanna village just there, split up as always, they tend to be split up, don't they? It makes them really hard to explore. I'm not a fan of them, but the savannah people wear some great clothes. We've got a desert pyramid right there. You can come and have a crack around that desert temple and definitely get some decent loot out of it. But we do have this pillager tower that is looking at, I suspect, not that one, but that one, because we've got a second village. There's loads of villages in this one, and a second desert pyramid as well, which is nice. You can get double bubble on your desert pyramid riches there. That's very nice indeed. Only small, those two villages there, but you know, that's okay. We've got an ocean. Nothing that I can see of major interest in the water at the moment. No coral reefs, no ocean monuments. Or no, he says no coral reefs. And as he says that, the game yet again calls me a blooming liar and shoves a coral reef literally just coming into view as I fly over it. So you do have a coral reef around about 1,100 minus 140. So it's almost in a direct line coming out towards the east. You've got two shipwrecks, one there and one there, which is great. So you can start off your treasure hunting exploits by at least one of those ships is going to have a treasure map. I've got absolutely no doubt. And then coming the other side of that, we have got a savannah with another savannah village. We are all about the savannah villages right now, and a shattered savannah as well. I love it when they get shattered. You can do so much with them. Come on, steampunk, show me what you can do. On the other side of that shattered savannah there, that's really cool. Look at that. How cool is that? We've got an interesting shaped mountain here. It's quite flat topped, but it's been shaved out on both sides with this curve shape. And that really could become something very interesting if you wanted to build on that. We've got a really flat side there, this curve, almost horseshoe-like, with a bit poking out the top. We've got a broken portal right next to it as well, so a little bit more looting to be had, and more savannah. If it is not swamp in this place, it's savannah. And we've got some really nice shaped hills as well. That one echoes the shape of that mountain there too. I wonder if that's because the seed generated it in the same way. Looks like we've got some more desert coming too, a little bit more plains, more savannah on the right. Yep, plenty more desert. What is for, and another desert temple. I was just going to say what's further on, but we've got another desert temple there. We're all over the desert temples. We're now around about 2,500 out to the easterly direction, and it looks from this point it just goes on and on in the sandy place. Southward bound now, following almost exactly the course of this really cool winding, really quite wide river that flows almost into the sea but not quite, over this desert village now. We've got one single solitary tower on that desert village. It would act beautifully if you've got a decent shot with an arrow, because it is towards the edge of the village, but that would act beautifully as somewhere for you to start picking off raids. That would be brilliant. And then we come across, we've got savannah on the left hand side there, but let's face it, we've had an awful lot of savannah already. I'm already bored of savannah. Savannah's boring, a bit like villages were in the last one. We've got more ocean, but we've got a wreck underneath the ocean. That's cool. Look at that. Okay, I'll take it back. Savannah's maybe boring, but shattered savannah like that, that's brilliant. Come along and have a, this is just wild and wacky. I've got to come and have a look at it. I know it's not directly south, but what's that all about? How did that go like that? It's like a billboard off the side of a tree. That's just daft. But that looks like a superb piece of architecture that you could really do something interesting with that without any doubts whatsoever. Further south, we end up going out over an ocean, and I'll be interested to see what we might find if we keep going. So what we find is a series of small islands, and then we've got this rather large reef as well that's right next to a ravine, so do be careful. Underwater ravines can spell doom if you can't hold your breath very well. Where are we? We're about 1,100, almost directly south, and this fella goes on for ages. If you want sea pickles, if you want coral, silk touch pick, seriously, look, it's massive. You can get loads. And as there normally is, there is another wreck right there. We've got a small dark oak forest making a really interesting shape along that reef. I wonder if you fancy doing something almost like desert island-esque there. You could do a really nice island build. Ignore the fact that it stops being an island about the village, but you could cut that off maybe. But that's a really nice island peninsula looking thing there. Another village coming along here. I don't think that we have got a blacksmith in this village either. I've not looked too hard for blacksmiths, but that one definitely hasn't got one. But certainly some villager relocation definitely on the cards there. More forest, so we've got plenty of wood for you to be able to cut everything. I think we've got most of the woods so far. The only woods we've not got is, I think, jungle. We've not had any large tigers, but we have had a number of spruce trees come on us. What we have got, almost missed it as I was going left past it there. We have got a witch hut. It is not very well situated. It's got this kind of dugout area in these hills here, but a witch hut it is nevertheless, and that means that you can come along and make yourself some kind of witch farm. You just need to do a lot of lighting up, which would be quite nice. We've got a really nice mountain area here. You could maybe do a good old mountain vista on this one. Quite large, relatively flat, some interesting mountain rock formations, and on the other side a great looking little winding river that you could also make a feature of. Is it even a river? Would you call that a river? I don't know, I'm not sure what I'd call that, but it's like a river that got a little bit too far on the growth hormones and it enjoys it. But we've got more birch forest here, we've got dark oak on the right, and then it just continues into, oh shocker, more sand. We're going out in a westerly direction now. We've got another village to the left-hand side there. We've got another village coming straight in front of us. And again, I love this winding river that looks like it goes out this time into the open sea. And that's the kind of river that I do like, because you can get to so many different places if you do that. Is it landlocked? I've got to check now, because this game does often call me a significant liar. You know what? I think this fella is landlocked. I take it back. It's not the open sea. It's just a blooming great big lake. And there's some very confused dolphins in this blooming great big lake. So there you go. A little broken, can you see it right in the middle of the screen there? A little broken portal. Oh no, it does go into the... See, I think it waits to tell me that I'm a liar. And then says, no, actually, Avo, you're not a liar. You're absolutely true. But by which time I've called myself a liar and a full of fool anyway. The other side of this though, look at this. I just want to take this back. I'm going to get my F1 screen out of the way, because I want you to see this in all of its glory. That right there, now if I was doing another Avomance, that would be a genuine candidate for somewhere I could do an Avomance. It has got great potential, different sides. You could need to do a bit of terraforming to take some of the severity out of it. You've got the desert on the left, you could swoop past and turn into some kind of desert build. You've got ocean around you, you've got enough wood. That's nice. I like that very, very much indeed. That plains goes on for days. I wonder if there would be a village, except that village may be close enough. I wonder if there's a village actually physically on the plains. They're always better when they're in the same type of biome, because then the villagers are wearing the right sorts of outfit. But no, not on this case. That's a shame. But we do have a little bit of a savanna there as well, going out into the open sea once again. And as it's just going dark, I think we've got a little bit more rockage coming out. That is crying out for some kind of lighthouse build or something like that. Some great potential in this direction. As we continue out in this direction, and we are around about minus 1,300-ish on the X, we have hit our first major taiga biome, and it is a big old taiga biome. We had a couple of little ones before, but this one's great, and it's all across the mountains. You can definitely spruce up your world as a result. Did you get that joke? It was amazing, wasn't it? We've also got other woods here as well. So if you like doing something within a forest, maybe you want to do some kind of fairy build or something like that, you could definitely do that here, especially seeing as we've got a flower forest coming on the right hand side. Plenty of dyes there for you to play with. That's absolutely brilliant. We have got a taiga village here, even though it does poke out into this plains. That is a taiga village. Not a fan of the village. Love the villagers' outfits though. They look so cool. And then we've got a nice open plains area here again. There's some fantastic plains areas on this particular seed. I'm really quite impressed with it. That one has another winding river going off into the distance. I'm feeling another little bit of a lazy river ride going on there. Perhaps that looks quite nice. We have got more flower forest here. So that's not the same flower forest we were at before. This is a new one, and it's not that far off. 2,700 straight on the X. We're only 300 off of the axis of south. Another taiga village there. So we're well replete with villages on this particular seed. Absolutely loads of them. But what I do like is the number of open plains. Look, these plains are really flat. That makes it so much easier to start a build on, because you don't have to do quite so much terraforming to get yourself moving. Terraform is such an important part of doing a build like this, and you've got to make sure that your palette and your canvas is exactly what you need it to be. We've got another really big dark oak forest. So if you like building dark wood, maybe for a medieval build which really lends itself to a dark wood type of base, that is exactly what you could do here. More mountains to the right and more plains coming on again over the other side of the dark oak forest. A quick series of slash locate brings in some of the real treasure that you have got on this seed. Look at this. So the nearest desert pyramid, and we know there's a number of them around, but it's only 300 blocks away from where you spawn in. The nearest igloo is 5,000 blocks away, which implies that anything frozen might be a little bit further distant. Doesn't necessarily mean that, but it probably does. We'll find out in a sec when we go and look at the seed map. Look at this. The nearest mansion is only 3,000 blocks away. That's brilliant. The nearest monument is less than 1,500 blocks away. The stronghold is less than 2,000 blocks away. The nearest witch hut wasn't the one that we saw. It is less than 1,000 blocks away. And the nearest jungle pyramid is less than 3,000 blocks away. Everything is so close. This is one of those seeds where everything you need is literally a hop, skip and a jump away. You don't need to go more than 5,000 blocks from spawn. And you could literally do your world right there. And this is why I think this seed is a real cracker. Look at the biome diversity that we have got so very close to where we are now. I've come into mine that's because I prefer the look and the graphical representation, although I appreciate it doesn't differentiate all the different oceans. We've got jungle there, we've got jungle there, we've got jungle there, we've got jungle there. We've got Mesa. We've got a mushroom island right there. We've got a little bit of oceans there, big oceans there. We've got all of this desert. We've got plains. We've got swamps. It is such a great mixture. We've even got ice spikes just up there, which I almost didn't mention. Liking that. Big old frozen area down here. This is a really beautiful seed. And if you didn't want to travel more than about 4,000 blocks, you would be set anyway. It is that section of the video where we're going to go underground and see what's lurking. So if you don't want spoilers and you want to do this on your own, you better turn away because we're going under in 3, 2, 1, boom. And underneath us, we have got, interesting, directly underneath us, we have got here a mine shaft that you can, well, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea to dig straight down, but if you did, you would be right in the mine shaft. That's worth knowing. Very, very decent sized one. I think it goes out in that direction a little way. We are not replete with too many of the spawners that I can see. Not too many, but it is worth a good explore right there. Now, underneath it, down here, looks like if you come down, follow that path down, you can actually get to another far deeper mine shaft. I mean, if we look now, we are at 18 and I'm not even level with it. So this is right down in diamond mining level. This one here has got a spawner. What's that spawner? That is a zombie spawner right there. That zombie spawner being at -88, about 10, -118. That's really quite nice. We've got lots of exposed ores. We've got plenty of chests in minecarts, which always have really good stuff inside. And this one's actually even bigger. It's quite a big, and we're coming across this way. Not so many cave spider spawners. There is one cave spider spawner in amongst all of this. Although there's another one. I'll take it back. There are two. I was quite surprised that there weren't more because this is a big, sprawling mine shaft, this fella here. That is a nice one. Definitely. It just keeps on going and going and going. That's not the one that we went to before, is it? Is that a third mine shaft? We've got 3 mine shafts. Let's come back this way. A third mine shaft here. This one is, I think, potentially even bigger than the deeper one that we've just found. It just carries on for days. We've got another spider spawner right there. So we're around about 12875. That looks like it's about Y40. Coming along this way, we've got another spider spawner over here. That is going to be on 177, number 7, also on about Y40. Plenty of spawners, actually. We are well replete. And another spider spawner there as well. Blimey, well, if you want spider spawners, this could be your fella. Back at the spawn area, and the cows have all turned into pigs. Those cows that fill in my head, they've basically transformed into the pigs. It is a magical seed, this one. Porcine, bovine transformations. Right, let's get ourselves through into the nether and find out what our cross-dimensionality is like. Right, well, we are, check up, because we are in a nether waste area, which is always very dangerous. You're most likely to have lava fall on your head in the nether waste, but we appear to be quite safe. However, what we're not necessarily safe from is ghast. This is a very open, flat area, and because I'm in peaceful mode, it means I'm not going to get any ghast. Am I in peaceful mode? I don't even know if I'm in peaceful mode, to be honest with you, but you'll definitely get ghast flowing around here. He says, looking for ghast, and you can't see anybody, but you can see the lava starting to flow. What we have, however, got over here is a crimson forest, very close. So actually it's quite safe. You're not going to come out here and find you've got some Tuscan warrior about to chew off your face. Both the piglins and the hoglins should be sufficiently far away for you to not be too scared of them. However, it is close enough for you to come along and maybe have a little bit of a barter with your piglins, because that's pretty close. Let's have a look around and see how close the other biomes are. So a bit of /locate biome command, and we can see that the basalt deltas are only 100 blocks away from where we come through, and the warped forest is actually only 139 blocks. It's actually very, very close. So within what 140 blocks from where you spawn through, you have got all of those primary biomes that you'd want to be finding in here. We've got the nearest fortress is only 300 blocks away, which in New Nether, that is pretty decent. And at 345 blocks for a bastion remnant, that's absolutely brilliant. Really close by. Let's go and have a look at them all. So the basalt delta is literally suspended above a massive, and I mean really, really big lava lake. So we are, where are we now? We're at -104.51, and it doesn't start until level 62 and then flies up into the ceiling. You might be best served coming at this from a very, very high height if you want to get some of that blackstone and that basalt. The warped forest, however, is a little bit easier to access by the look of it. You come straight across and you're right there. You can see where the basalt delta kind of finishes off there. Come straight across and you're in this warped forest, so you can collect all of the necessary goodness that you might need, perhaps to make sure things like piglins and hoglins don't want to come anywhere near you, because you know how much they hate stuff from here. Our Soul Sand Valley, which I forgot to mention when we did locate biome, is only 100 blocks away from where we spawned through, so that's a really easy little jaunt across. The way that lava flows down is really cool. Look at that, that's brilliant, but very, very dangerous, very hot. But Soul Sand Valley, good for your bones. Again, really good for spawning Diamond Peaceful. I did check. What a wally. But I think we need to go and find out where things like fortresses and bastion remnants are. The bastion remnant that is closest to where you spawn through is pretty much completely buried. Completely buried. So if I come through here, you can see we're inside the cave of it now. But if I come all the way around, it's just taking a void. It's just in the void of a big old wall, so you won't necessarily even see it. I'm trying to find a bit that's outside. Okay, so that bit is only actually on the outside, but that's the only bit that's on the outside. It'd be very, very easy to miss. Oh look, broken portal in the Nether. You don't see them very often. We are here at 235 - 200, so it's not too far away, but it is very hidden. And similarly, the fortress is fairly well hidden as well. If I just come through and around here, there's this big old basalt delta here, which is the other end of the basalt delta we were at earlier on. A little bit easier to get that side, isn't it? Actually, a little bit easier to get that side. But this is not the greatest, I don't think, of fortresses. It is not overly over lava. That's terrible. But it's mostly over land, which means making a wither skeleton farm out of it is not going to be easy. We do, however, have poking out, and that's not something you see very often. Look at that. We've got the blaze there, and we've got some big animal died right by the blaze spawner. That's probably not what they meant to do. That's a really interesting little generation there. But what I'd really like to know, as is normal for me when I come and look around one of these things, is where is my fungus? I need my fungus, but I think I may have found my fungus. That's easy. There we go. Fungus is right inside there. Brilliant. So that's not too difficult to find at all. This is a really nice seed. Not only has it got some perfect areas for you to build into, a bazillion villages, and I'm not overrating that. There are so many villages, and there's one village that I dare you to go and find that is so split into different levels that it's just insane. But I'll leave you to go and find it. Let me know in the comments below. #found it if you found the really wild and wacky village. The cow just walked straight into my view. That's really rude. That's really real. I'm going to make a leather coat out of you. But I'm really pleased because there's also everything really close by. And the Nether is a great Nether spawn for 116 too. So thank you very much. Hope Hedges. Hope, thanks. I know you sent this back to me. I think it was back in February you sent me this seed, but I'm really grateful for you to send it to me. It's a really nice seed, and I'm really happy that you were able to share it, and I hope it gives a lot of people a lot of joy. If you have got a really great seed that's got some great features, maybe it's perfect for building, maybe it's really beautiful, maybe it's got everything really close to spawn, I don't know. You let me know what you think of it by giving me coordinates and a little bit of a description, and maybe you can make it into a future episode of these seeds videos. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see it in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.